Greetings, it's your midsole man EDDBUD here. There have been many running shoes put together in the past, but can any outrun or equal the power of the Asics Megablast? Thanks for tuning in. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already, and also give this video a thumbs up like to help the channel out. Drop us a comment too, dankeschön. The Asics Megablast here in hand. This is a shoe that I've been extremely excited to test out, and I have to say it has lived up to my expectations. In my UK 11, this one's only weighing 257 grams or just over 9 ounces, and when you consider that in the sample size you've got 46 millimeters of stack, in my size there's about 49, 41 up front for an 8mm drop. That is a mega cushioned offering with very little weight. Yes, the Prime X3's got more stack than that, but it is considerably heavier than this shoe on foot and more expensive too. A lot of people ask me why I don't always go with the sample size as my initial measurement. Well, that's not the shoe that I've got in hand. It's kind of like I'm talking about something that I don't have. This is what I've got, and the reviews come from my experiences in the shoe I have, okay? It's a very generous 12.6 centimeters of width at the widest point in the forefoot and 10.1 centimeters in the heel. We have the new Flight Foam Turbo Squared midsole formula here. It's apparently a lot more bouncy. I think it was like over a third bouncier than the last one, if that means anything to you. I've got a short A geometer score here of about 26, so it's not like the softest ever, but it's certainly extremely bouncy. There's a lot of energy return here. Asics grip on the outsole, and it's measuring about short A 60, which is pretty much what it always is. I would like to note here that the version that you might have seen of this shoe on the Running Warehouse YouTube channel appears to have a different outsole, so I think there have been a few changes there from the initial prototypes that might have been out there. Even that section here around the Achilles was white in that prototype and it's now purple, so yeah, very interesting that they're making changes to the shoe even quite close to the release. This is a shoe that Asics have sent to me for review, but they're not paying me to make this video, nor will they get to vet my views before my valued viewers get to see them. Kicking off with the upper first. Upper-wise, this is very close to the original version of the Superblast. That is an upper I really enjoyed from Asics. I like the flexibility, the weight, and the lockdown on that one. The materials just seem to really work for me. It's a little bit lighter than the second iteration of that shoe. I did find the upper here does give a little bit. After a few miles, I did stop to retighten my laces, and that seemed to alleviate the issue. The laces are those serrated type, which work really well here with the standard eyelets that we have on both sides of the upper. The tongue perhaps a little bit long, but it didn't seem to bother me all that much on my initial runs. There is some padding here in the business end of the tongue, which seems to alleviate any lace pressure. It's a simple upper here, standard eyelets, no thick overlays. Yes, there's a pull tab, but I'll let them off this time due to the extremely low weight already of this shoe. Toe box height isn't perhaps as generous as you get in something like the Metaspeed Sky Tokyo, though I did find that shoe was a little bit over the top in terms of the actual height. Width I've found to be fine actually. I know a few initial reviewers have mentioned that they found the shoe perhaps a little bit narrow. I think perhaps they just need to dial in the fit a little bit more with the laces so their foot isn't kind of flying forward into the toe box. I've not had any issues at all. It's been a really comfortable shoe so far. Very breathable to boot as well. That material is pretty much transparent here. I've stuffed some paper into the front of the shoe, and that's what this white section is. You can see this bit's actually totally transparent, very light and nimble on foot. There's no booty construction here. There is some gusseting on either side of the tongue just to keep it in place, and ample padding around the Achilles area. It's more of a traditional type running shoe around this section. It's not all flexible and it doesn't sort of bend over. I've had no heel slip here. I'd suggest you go true to size if you do pick up the Megablast. There's nothing that I would change here about this upper. It's an exceptionally good one for a tempo trainer. I'll give it a 3 out of 3 so far for the upper. Midsole now. So that midsole here does feature the new Asics Formula Flight Foam Turbo Squared. That is the second version of this material. This is extremely bouncy. It does appear that Asics have listened perhaps to those who found the Superblast 1 and 2 a little bit too firm. Not sure I was one of those people. I think I quite liked the midsole in that. There's a bit more of that wild bounce though that we had in the Metaspeed Sky Paris from last year. Kind of feels like a version of that, but turbo boosted, I suppose. I did find that the midsole though does take a little bit of breaking in, so if you get the shoe on foot and make your assumptions straight away, then yeah, don't judge the book by the cover. The more I used the material, the more compressive and kind of exciting it became, I suppose. Just got better and better as I got further into the run. Even in some tougher, more humid conditions here, I found that the run turned into a bit of a progression run, really. Moving up through easy pace to a sort of aerobic pace into marathon and then half marathon effort. I think it's perhaps a little bit too much shoe for anything above that. Kind of feels like you've got a halfway house here between like a race shoe and something like the Novablast. The Megablast is sitting right there in the middle. Does like to go a little bit faster, but it still feels really usable at some easy paces. So a real range of pace here, a very versatile midsole. No plate here, but you don't really need one. This isn't a foam that's like Fuel Cell from New Balance, where it's very soft and compressive, but lacks that kind of return. This one's got a lot of pep to it. Good at pretty much any of the paces I ran at. It just felt great. A real unicorn type midsole. Though you still have that very wide landing platform here, and this is coming in lighter than the Superblast as well. Could be a sensational long run option, perhaps if you're getting ready for a marathon. If you're throwing in a smattering of pace into that longer run, then the Megablast will be a very capable option for you. I think this material is going to be very durable as well. It's got a nice outer layer here which is kind of protecting it. I think they've tuned the foam just right in terms of performance to fit lots of categories and tick lots of boxes. So very versatile option. I think it can turn the pace up if you need it to. Our removable insole as well. That might be something that's very important to you. Perhaps too rigid, too firm for some people, but for me it's one of the best I've tried out for ages. I'll give it a 2.9 out of 3 so far, and it's a new formula. I'm not going to give it a 3 out of 3. We don't know how it's going to hold up in the long term. Outsole wise, this is clearly inspired by the trampoline-like designs that we've had in the Novablast over the years, and the Superblast too. Similar rubber placement here, and this stuff's really grippy as well. It's got that kind of sticky feel to it, really good ridges. I think I'd probably err away from running on light trails in this one, mainly due to the fact we got a lot of exposed midsole foam, but the traction was really great on road and pavement so far. I think they've put these rear sections in here to sort of stabilize the ride somewhat. Interesting, Asics have managed to find a way to incorporate the outsole rubber to work at various different effort levels and speeds. I think they've also left this section of foam in here rather than hollowing it out to stabilize the ride somewhat in the heel. It amplifies that kind of bouncy feel somewhat as well. So yeah, err on the side of road and pavement with this one. I'd avoid gravel and light trails till we perhaps know a little bit more about this midsole material. Stick to the consistent surfaces. Again, there's little to dislike here in the outsole. The rubber's tacky and it's sticky. There's good ridge depth here. I can see it lasting a decent amount of time as per the Superblast 2. Give it a 2.9 out of 3 so far for the outsole. Value now. Price wise, I found this one's $225 in the US. So quick conversion there, looking at the Superblast 2 price in the US, which will give us an indication of what it might be in the UK. So that's $200, the Superblast 2. And it's 200 quid over here in the UK. So is this going to be like £225? I mean, that's a very expensive trainer. Yes, there are other trainers out there which have a similar price. So is this intended as like a super light plateless race shoe? Either way, 225 is right up there. I mean, the quality is good here out the box. I think if you're looking for perhaps versatility and longevity in one shoe, something that can tick loads of boxes, easy or recovery paced efforts, tempo training and some longer runs with race effort thrown in, I think it starts to look a little bit better in terms of value, but the price is no doubt going to put a few people off from trying this one out. I mean, the Superblast 2 is already a very expensive shoe. I see this more as a competitor to something like the Prime X3, though this is way lighter, less chunky, and far more capable across the different paces. That Adidas shoe's 250 quid here in the UK as well, so a lot of money. As such, I see this more as like a super trainer with a massive stack, good build quality here, you haven't got any rods or other tech required. It's a very, very good shoe to run in. It's just a fun shoe to run in as well. And there's been a lot of shoes recently that, you know, on paper lots of them look great, but we don't run on paper, we run on the shoes. So I think this one's going to last a whole load of miles, and I can't wait to get back out in it again. Just hope it's a little cheaper than it appears. I'll give it a 2.8 out of 3 for value. I think you'll get a lot out of it if it's going to be like a shoe that has to do it all. If I've totaled the scores up correctly for the Asics Megablast, we've got 11.6 out of 12. So one of the best of the year so far. I can see this one replacing the Superblast 2 for many people. Slightly less present upper, lower weight, and a lot of bounce. What are your thoughts on the Asics Megablast? So let me know down in the comments. Quick musical interlude for you. Absolutely wonderful song that I stumbled across, didn't even know it had been released, from Ben Folds and Peanuts. It's called When We Were Light. I believe this is from like the Apple TV like Peanuts summer program. I think it's called a summer musical. Beautiful song. It really captures the feeling of the summer coming to an end. All those wonderful memories that you've collected up in your head, hopefully, and not on your phone. Drives me nuts when people do that, just wandering around with the phone and they're not like appreciating the things that are happening in the moment. Ben Folds captures this beautifully though. It's a lovely piano sound. His voice is on point. It's probably one of the best things he's done in years. The sincerity is there in the voice, and you can kind of feel as a older guy that he knows the pitfall. You know, he's been there and he's seen those things happening, captured them up here. He's felt those feelings, and that's why it's good. That's why like AI can't ever like be as good as that. In the voice there's the tone, and that's what makes it great. Very limited instrumentation on this, just piano and vocals in the main. Go and check it out from a summer musical, Ben Folds and Peanuts, When We Were Light. Hope you enjoyed that musical interlude. Do go and check it out. It is beautiful. Hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up like. Also drop us a comment as well to help that YouTube algorithm. Thanks for watching through to the very end as well. My name's EDDBUD and I'll be seeing you